Hi guys, I am T with T's Time Shoes. I'm independent consultant with Paparazzi Accessories, but we're doing a different type of video today. We are going to be making some Salmon uh, Alfredo, creamy Alfredo. So here I am showing you guys all my ingredients. It's very simple to make. Um, yeah, let's get into this. So if you get the fresh frozen salmon, the best thing to do is heat that pack with some hot water on the skin side, and then that way when you open it, that skin is able to come off really smoothly. You're able to pull it back off. And I did cut my salmon up into like little chunks. You can cut your salmon as large or as small as you like. So here I'm showing you guys all the ingredients that I'm using, and we are going to get started with the seasoning of our salmon. In the pot I have some olive oil that is actually heating up, and I'm going to add a little bit of butter to that at the end to marinate in with the olive oil. We're adding some onion powder, garlic powder, slap your mama seasoning. We have some black pepper. We have some Cajun seasoning and some smoked paprika. And then I'm just going to kind of marinate those seasonings onto my meat with a glove. So I hope you guys find this video helpful, or decide to make it at home. If you decide to make it, come back and let us know. Comment and say, let us know how delicious it was, or how you liked it, or if you need to make any changes, or if you added, with this one you can do different types of meat. You can do shrimp, you can do it with chicken, it's your personal preference. So here I'm adding I can't believe it's not butter. If you have not tried that, that is like a substitute to butter. And yes, I do use I can't believe it's not butter when I'm baking cakes. So it does do well with pound cakes and any other types of cakes. So here we have the pan heated up enough. We're gonna put our salmon in there. Let that salmon get a little done. Not like 100% done. Let's say 90% done. That way when we apply it to the Alfredo sauce, because the Alfredo sauce is still gonna be hot, we don't want to overcook our meat to where it's chewy. So we're gonna let that simmer, then we're gonna flip it over on the other side once that side get done, and I'm gonna prepare my noodles. Now I do have a Tupperware noodle maker that I use in the microwave to prepare my noodles. So here we are actually flipping that fish over. I add a little salt to my noodles, and I also add a little bit of olive oil, and then I use a fork to kind of like make sure that I can get the noodles a little separated. And then I put them in the microwave for about 20 minutes and let them cook. Best way, easy way, less mess. You can that particular container, you're able to pour the water out while the noodles is in it, so you don't need a strainer. It is a noodle maker along with the strainer. Again, that is one of my Tupperware must-haves. Okay. Now we're removing that salmon from that hot heat, and we're going to add in our other ingredients to make our dish. And like I say, this is probably like, once you cut all your ingredients up, once you get started, it's probably a 20-minute dish. So it's really simple and easy to make. My husband actually said it was delicious. My taste buds are kind of off right now, so right now no seafood tastes good. I mean, it was pretty good for me, but it was not like it would have been if I wasn't getting chemo. So my taste buds are like really thrown off. Okay, so here I'm adding my onions, and I'm gonna saute those onions along. I wanted mushrooms in mine, so mushrooms are an option. You don't have to use mushrooms, but I like mushrooms. And I like spinach, so this time I actually added a little spinach because I want a little more green in my life. So I added some spinach to it. And I actually went in and cut up my spinach. Here I'm just going to kind of saute those mushrooms and onions together. And I did not put my minced garlic in there at this time because I didn't want it to burn. But I will add some minced garlic to that. So we'll let that cook on down a little bit before we add our other ingredients. Now here we're going to add our minced garlic. I like a lot of mint, so personal preference on how much you want to add to it. That's your personal preference. And again, I don't have any name brand seasonings. That's really that they use. That's Walmart brand. Even on my onion and garlic powder, I just have the store-bought brand. onion powder and garlic powder. So we're gonna let that kind of start to smell the garlic in the air before we add our other ingredients. And actually, we're gonna add next is our heavy whipping cream. So it depends on how much of cream you want to how much of heavy whipping cream and how much of cheese. Now, when it came to my Parmesan cheese, because I had to order online for my groceries, I haven't been to the grocery store in months. So I ordered online at Walmart, and that is what I got. But I normally like to use 3 cheese Parmesan, and it's more grated instead of shredded. So I do like to use the grated Parmesan, 3 cheese Parmesan in my Alfredo. So with this recipe, I just kind of use what I have. And here I'm using a half a cup of chicken stock. You can use, I think they have like oyster broth or something like that. So they do have like or you can make your own broth. It's totally up to you. You don't even have to add broth. It just gives it that extra flavor. I'm also gonna season my sauce with everything that I season my fish with. So here you see me adding the Cajun, the garlic, the onion, the slap your mama, the black pepper, and the smoked paprika. And then you want to taste that sauce to make sure you got it flavorful like you would like it. And that's one of the reasons that I don't over season my fish, because you can go back in and season that sauce up. And here is that smoked paprika. That's just smoked paprika is something I just recently started using. I like it for the color, so I actually think it's pretty good. Doesn't really have like a smoky taste, I guess, but it's more so for the color. So we're gonna actually stir all that up, get it marinated in there together, and then we're gonna add a little bit of cheese to that. So on the cheese, I actually started off with like a half a cup of Parmesan. Again, this is more like the grated Parmesan, and I like to use the shredded Parmesan. So yeah, but that's okay. Whatever you have, you can make it work. And I didn't have any Parmesan shredded cheese, so I had mozzarella cheese, so I just used the mozzarella cheese. But you can use the Parmesan shredded cheese, or you can shred your own. It's best if you shred your own, because it does melt a little bit better if you shred your own cheese, because the shredded cheese you buy, it has like a wax on it. So yeah, shred your own Parmesan if you can. So here I'm adding that mozzarella, and you can substitute this recipe with any of the cheeses you like, so it's personal preference. You can critique it to your taste. This is my taste, so this is what we're doing for me. And then we're gonna let that simmer, and here I'm gonna taste it just to make sure I got it seasoned right. I'm gonna let that simmer, put that top on it, and bring it to a boil. And then we'll add, you wanna make sure you keep it stirred so that it does not stick to that pot, making sure you don't stick to the pot. And the thickness is depending on your cheese, so you can always add more cheese if you like. I think I did add more. Probably another half a cup of cheese. So personal preference when it comes to the thickness, because one thing about it, once it sits, it's gonna thicken up anyway. Once it cools down, let me say that. Once the sauce cools down, it will thicken anyway. So like the next day, you'll have a thicker sauce. So here we're just gonna let it marinate, and then we're gonna add our spinach to this. And then we'll let that spinach cook down. And then our sauce is pretty much made. So I pretty much prepared everything in advance. You can add, that's a lot of spinach. Like I said, I wanted more greens in mine. So you don't have to add as many. You can do like a handful. But I wanted more. I wanted greens in my Alfredo sauce. Some people put those smoked, I can't even think, like little red peppers in it. That gives it a little bit of color. So you can use that if you like. And what I do here is I'm gonna add a little more cheese. Stir that in. I want it a little bit thicker, so we're just gonna add a little more cheese, not much more. just enough. And stir that in. And then I will let it simmer a little bit. And as we let that simmer, we are going to stir it because, again, like I said, we don't want it to stick. I am using a non-stick pan, non-stick pot. You want to make sure you're using rubber with your non-stick pot. It's not metal. Metal tend to scrape the Teflon off your pots. So you always want to use something plastic, or rubber or plastic, when you're using pots that have a non-stick coating, or wooden handle spoon or something like that. Do not use metal. Well, some people can. I can't because I'm afraid I'm going to scrape my Teflon off. But that's, again, my personal preference. So here we're just kind of stirring up our Alfredo sauce. And then we're going to add that fish to it. And what I'm going to do here is, once I add my fish back into the pan, I'm going to turn the heat off. Because, again, the Alfredo sauce is pretty much done, and we do not want to overcook. That fish is going to kind of finish cooking out into the sauce because the sauce is hot. So, yeah, that's what I did. Turn off that heat and just let it simmer while we wait for the noodles to be done, and then we're able to plate it. But now our sauce is actually done and completed. I hope you guys enjoy this video, like this video, share this video, comment on this video, let me know. Oh, and I forgot to use my butter. So normally I would put my butter in when I'm marinating my onions and mushrooms, but I forgot. So we added it in the end, and we're just gonna marinate it in the sauce. So that's what I'm doing here, marinating that butter in the sauce. So again, in the beginning, when you're sauteing your onions and mushrooms, add you some more butter with that. At that process up. But if you miss it, you can always add it at the end. Alright, so now we're just shaking that sauce again, and we are going to make sure that we've got everything incorporated, which it is. Gorgeous. Look at it. You got your spinach, you got your mushrooms, you got your fish up in there. So yeah, that looks totally delicious. Now let's get those noodles incorporated with our Alfredo sauce. So here I am. I'm gonna add in my noodles. You can either put your noodles on a plate, add the sauce on top, but we're gonna add those noodles in and just incorporate with our sauce. Looks so delicious. And then on the side, of course, you know, you can cook you some garlic bread. And I always cook mine on the stove in a little frying pan. You don't have to put it in the oven. If you have the already sliced garlic bread, just put it in a nice little frying pan and get it brown on each side. Cook it on medium-high heat. Let it thaw out, first of all. Let it sit out and let it thaw out. And you can cook it on medium-high heat on top of the stove instead of heating up the oven for 1 or 2 pieces of toast. And we're going to get this plated up. And those are my noodles. See how nice and firm they are out of the microwave? That does wonders. And then I don't have that pot to clean up. This is a much easier cleanup. Actually, this dish is a what? Almost a 2. You have your noodle bowl and then the pan that I cooked in. A 2-dish cleanup. So here I'm plating it. And you can add some parsley or some fresh parsley to it. I'm going to add some parsley flakes to it. That looks so delicious. Getting that spinach in there. Grab me a little bit of meat to put on top there. And like I say, your sauce will thicken up as it cooled down. As your sauce cool down, it'll thicken. That looks so delicious. Again, here's another video. I hope you guys like and enjoy it, and let me know what you think. Until next time, have a great one. Bye bye.